Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Black Futures in Focus. We will be starting with an ancestral land acknowledgement, Black history reflection, and ancestral remembrance. So as we gather in community today, we begin with truth that must always begin with the land. We acknowledge that we are gathered on the unceded and unsurrendered ancestral territory of the Algonquin Anishinaabe people. This land has been a place of life, governance, ceremony, and relationship since time immemorial. We honor the Algonquin Anishinaabe people for their past, and that what they have sacrificed for this land across generations, the present, and who continue to uphold their responsibilities, cultures, and sovereignty, and the future, whose descendants will carry this land forward with strength and wisdom and care. This land holds memory. It remembers community and kinship. It remembers resistance and survival. It remembers what was taken and what was never given away. We name clearly that this land is not peacefully settled. Colonization brought dispossession, violence, forced displacement, broken territories, and deep intergenerational harm. Reconciliation is not a moment or a statement, it is a responsibility. It calls us to ongoing truth-telling, accountability, learning, repair, and the building of good relationship rooted in justice and respect. We affirm that Indigenous peoples are the original and rightful caretakers of this land, and we stand in solidarity with their continued pursuit of sovereignty, self-determination, and healing. Today, we also speak of a truth that has too often been erased. Speaking truth to Black presence and belonging on this land. Black people are not new to this land. Our presence here predates the country called Canada by more than 150 years. Black people have lived on this land since the early 1600s, long before Confederation, long before Canada defined itself as a nation. For generations, many Black people in what we now know as Canada were born on this land, raised families here, built communities here, and labored here. They were not newcomers, but people whose lives, histories, and identities were shaped within these territories over centuries. Until well into the 20th century, a significant portion of Black population in Canada was Canadian born with deep multi-generational roots in places such as Nova Scotia, Quebec, Ontario, and across the prairies. We name clearly that Black presence on this land is longstanding and foundational. Black people have never been merely visitors to Canada. We've been farmers and fisherers, builders and tradespeople, caregivers and organizers, soldiers and freedom seekers, artists, educators, and community leaders. Our sweat, skills, experiences, and knowledge were taken and used, often without consent and without compensation, to help shape early Canada. Our labor helped build infrastructure, institutions, and economies. Even as Black communities, we were denied land, safety, rights, and recognition. This history is not incidental, it is central. This truth does not diminish Indigenous sovereignty. It exists alongside it. We affirm without hesitation that Indigenous people are the original caretakers. So we assert that Black histories in Canada are not recent, peripheral, or accidental. The erasure of Black presence and contribution has been deliberate. Today, we commit ourselves to African Canadian truth telling, truth that honors Indigenous sovereignty, truth that names Black presence and contribution, and truth that refuses to silence as the price of belonging, honoring 30 years of Black history in Canada. February 2026 marks 30 years of official Black History Month in Canada. In 1995, the Honorable Dr. Jean Augustine, the first Black woman elected to Canada's Parliament, moved a motion that was unanimously passed by the House of Commons. That motion led to the first National Black History Month celebration on February 1st, 1996, and affirmed a truth that still demands repeating. Black history is Canadian history. This recognition did not emerge by accident. It was the result of generations of advocacy, organizing, and the resistance by Black communities who refused erasure. We honor Dr. Jean Augustine for her courage, leadership, and vision, for creating space for Black stories to be named, remembered, and taught. As we mark 30 years, we are reminded that Black History Month is not about celebration alone. It is about responsibility. It is about ensuring that Black brilliance is not confined to one month, that Black histories are not sanitized, and that Black futures are not delayed. We honor the nation builders who came before us, and we commit ourselves to tomorrow's visionaries, those who deserve more than survival. They deserve justice, recognition, and opportunity, contemporary Black leadership, and giving back. We also take this moment to acknowledge contemporary Black leadership that reflects the legacy of those who came before. We recognize Councillor Rawlson King, who became Ottawa's first Black City Councillor, a milestone made possible by generations of community advocacy and perseverance. His leadership reflects a commitment to giving back, to showing up where it matters, and to being a voice for community within systems where Black voices have too often been absent or ignored. His work reminds us representation is not symbolic, it is purposeful. It is about accountability, service, and using one's position to uplift, advance equity, and to help shape decisions that impact people's daily lives. United Nations Decade for People of African Descent. We also acknowledge the extension for the United Nations Decade for People of African Descent, and a recognition that the work of justice remains unfinished. The pillars of the decade are clear: recognition, justice, and development. Recognition demands that the full truth be told. Justice requires dismantling the systems that continue to harm Black communities. Development calls for meaningful, sustained investment in Black communities and Black lives and Black futures. The extension is not symbolic. It is a call to action, a reminder that progress cannot be performative, that accountability must follow commitment, honoring the ancestors, a shared moment of remembrance. And now, even as we gather virtually, we pause together in a shared moment of remembrance. Across distance and space, we call in the ancestors, not through physical ritual, but through intentional breath and collective memory. We honor the ancestors of Africa, the motherland, those whose names were taken, whose languages were disrupted, yet whose wisdom, spirit, and strength endure. We honor the ancestors of the Caribbean, whose culture, faith, resistance, and love across the waters, who also transforms survival into community, creativity, and joy. We honor Black Canadian ancestors, those born on this land, those who arrived by choice, and those who arrived by force, who built families, communities, movements, and institutions, often in the face of exclusion, erasure, and violence. We name our African, Caribbean, and Black Canadian lineages together, recognizing that our histories and distinct interconnected and inseparable from their present moment. We acknowledge that our ancestors walk with us now in our work, in our organizing, and in our care for one another, and in our instance and our joy and our justice. They walk with us today, they walk with us tomorrow, and they walk with us for generations. They live in our breath and in our refusal to forget, and in our commitment to build a future worthy of their sacrifice. As we move forward, may we remain grounded in truth. May we honor this land and all the peoples upon it. May we carry our histories with care and our futures with courage, intent, and in love. Asay, amen, and miigwech. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Councillor Rawlson King's Black Futures in Focus event. It is our virtual Black Town Hall. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sophia Jacob, and I am the Equity and Diversity Liaison with Councillor Rawlson King's office, and I will be facilitating the conversation today. We would also like to welcome all of the community members who are joining us here on Zoom. So as a few housekeeping items, this meeting is going to be, it is being recorded for information purposes to then later be uploaded to the Councillor's Facebook page and YouTube page for those who missed it. My colleagues Erin and Athena are also here from Councillor Rawlson King's office to provide support in French language translation and technical support. During the presentations, we kindly ask that there be no interruption, and please hold your questions until the floor is open for Q&A. Everybody understands to please kindly put themselves on mute while everybody is talking, and then we will open again at Q&A. If you have any questions that aren't related to today's topic or ward specific, we please ask you to hold those and email the office or call the office, please. Again, there will be Francophone translation. My colleague Athena is in the chat as well. And I will pass it over to Councillor Rawlson King to say his welcome and introduce our first guest. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sophia, for such a wonderful opening. And good afternoon, everyone. Happy Black History Month. And thank you for joining us today for this important conversation about Black futures in our community. I want to start by telling you what you can expect from the next couple of hours. This isn't just an information session. This is about opening doors, building connections, and ensuring that Black-led organizations, Black entrepreneurs, and Black-serving initiatives in our community have the tools, knowledge, and resource they need to thrive. Today, you're going to hear directly from 3 levels of government: federal, provincial, and municipal. Each presenter will share concrete information about funding opportunities, grant programs, and support services that are available right now. You'll learn about eligibility criteria, application processes, and who to contact for help. Beyond grants, we'll also explore entrepreneurship supports and non-grant resources, things like business mentorship, technical assistance, capacity building, and programs designed to help you grow sustainably, whether you're just starting out or ready to scale up. This is practical information that you can act on. This is about turning ideas into reality and ensuring our community's economic prosperity reflects our strength, creativity, and vision. I want you to know that you won't have to rely on memory alone. As Sophia had pointed out, after today's town hall, we'll email you a recording link from my YouTube channel, along with all the presentation material shared today. You will have everything at your fingertips to review, share it with your team, or refer back to when you're ready to apply. What matters here is that we're holding this town hall during Black History Month intentionally. While we celebrate our past and honor those who've paved the way, we must also invest in our future. Black Futures in Focus means we're looking ahead at the businesses we'll build, the organizations we'll strengthen, and the communities we'll uplift together. Our community deserves equitable access to opportunity, and that's what today is about. I encourage you to engage fully, as Sophia had mentioned. Ask questions during the Q&A session that will be near to the end of all the presentations. Please take notes and connect ultimately with the presenters as well. This is your time. Let's make the most of it. Thank you again for being here. Now let's get started.
Did you want to introduce your first speaker, Rawlson?
Abs- Absolutely. So the we're now going to move directly to the grant funding and government programs uh, in terms of opportunities. And I want to introduce Scott Phelan, who's with us from the province of Ontario. He is the Deputy Chief of Staff for the Office of the Premier and the Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs. As you might be aware, the Premier's office has a office here in the city of Ottawa, and Scott is the head of that office. So we are really gratified that he's here today to provide a presentation on the different grant opportunities that are available from the province of Ontario.
I might be on mute still. Just want to see if you could see the slide there and what you see in front of you, if that's okay.
Yes, we can see the slides.
And it does say Government of Ontario. That's the right one. I don't have the
It,
red dot around it, so I didn't know. Okay, well, thank you so
it
much.
does.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you for letting me be a part of the special presentation today, especially on a Saturday. And I did all my shoveling first thing this morning, so it's nice that I can sit down here in the warmth now and actually enjoy some time with your folks. Um, Happy Black History Month. I think this is truly a remarkable thing to engage in and to commemorate. Obviously, celebrating 30 years, as was mentioned at the outset, is an incredible accomplishment. So again, congratulations on that as well. Definitely some great accomplishments over the last 30 years, but yet there's still so much to do. So it's really wonderful to be part of this call today. Myself, I wear two hats. I work in the Ontario office here. We're very fortunate, again, as was mentioned, to have an office here in Ottawa to assist with, constituents and work with our wonderful team at the City of Ottawa, and of course, three levels of government here in Ottawa to help assist in, moving some of these larger files forward. And while you think that you can become an expert overnight in certain files that the province, works with our citizens with, it's interesting that you just can't be an expert overnight. There's just so many things that are moving and shaking, obviously, within the province. And so I really appreciate being here for you, not only to share some information with you, but also for myself to learn as well and be engaged with the councillor and his team on, opportunities within the city here and just making our city even better than it is today. So again, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here and be in front of you. And the conversation doesn't end here. Yes, we'll share, some great information with you on, avenues and some direction that you can, approach with your teams in order to engage with the province of Ontario. But nonetheless, there's always, while you build a program for an entire province, there's always areas in between where there's cracks. And how do we fill those cracks with knowledge and information? And that's working it back with Councillor Rawlson King and his team. So look forward to working with you not only today through this conversation, but again, as we move forward into the future. I'm going to try and advance this slide here and see if it works for me. So we have a couple of grants just to talk to you about quickly here. And again, following this presentation, I'll leave you with or leave the team with two slides, one being the presentation itself and another some content that I did make available today, but it is captured electronically, so I will share that with the greater team as well. But the first one I'm going to talk to you about here is obviously the Anti-Hate Security Prevention Grant that's available to the team. This grant is for cultures and organizations that wrap themselves in the opportunity to receive up to $10,000 in order to keep communities safe and secure from anti-hate incidents that are happening. Obviously, very, very important to the province. Um, we in 2025 actually added an additional $12.7 million to the investment amount that was already in there prior to 2023 and 2024, which initiated an initial cost of about 25.5 million in investment opportunities over the last couple of years, which is great. This grant here goes to support 3,800 organizations to address the rise in anti-hate motivated incidents. So again, a very important element of the province to address, and they want to see if they can capitalize on the maximum amount that's available. This grant itself, as it quickly states here, you can receive up to $10,000 in order to keep communities safe. And again, a very, very good program that's available to you. Eligible registered charities, this is what it's for, not-for-profit organizations, of course, First Nation band councils, educational authorities that hold gatherings of religious events, spiritual or even cultural significance in the province of Ontario. I quickly mentioned the maximum amount is 10,000, but it can go as 5,000, $7,500, or up to $10,000 as well, or any type of additional funding that might be offered for non-registered chapters that meet the eligible guidelines. Now, obviously, we could go into some of the guidelines and extras and everything else, but I'll leave that to yourself to gather some of that information on an Ontario website, as I'm not an expert in myself, but I will gather that information for you should you require any additional following this. Just most importantly to note that the government has a zero tolerance method when it comes down to any form of racism, discrimination, or hate in any way, shape, or form. And so in response to the increase of these hate crimes in general, the government has made a significant investment to defend the right of every single Ontarian to express themselves in a safe manner without fear or any type of intimidation. So between 2023 and 2026, the Ministry of Citizenship and Multiculturalism is investing nearly $60 million additional into the anti-hate program prevention grant to enhance safety and strengthen security to hundreds of institutions across the province of Ontario. And under the leadership of our government right now, this government will continue to stand firmly when it comes down to our communities and protecting those that are less vulnerable. So that's the first one there. I'll leave you some additional information following this. The second opportunity or grant that's available to you is the Black Youth Action Plan. BYAP is what it's called initially. Launched in 2027. The program addresses persistent outcome disparities for Black children, for youth, and for families through a life stage approach with evidence-based programs provided by Black-led and culturally-led focus organizations. Again, introduced in 2020, there's funded expansions that go beyond the BYAP by helping Black youth in building demand skills, gain work experience, and access to employment through high growth sectors. And I quickly identify a couple of them here. There's career launch, there's advanced career or sector innovations that's available as well. But in career launch, this provides Black children and youth with the access to professional networks, skill development opportunities, and high demand and high opportunity fields. Career advancement connects Black youth and young professionals to train and work placements in high growth sectors to support successful workplace participation. And finally, sector innovation networks. It provides Black business leaders in developing and scaling Black-led solutions to address the labor and innovation gaps in high growth sectors within the province of Ontario. This funding will also continue to support BYAP initiatives such as students and family advocates, innovation supports for Black parents, industry-led career initiatives, and other programs to support youth as well. Some additional messaging on this, obviously, since 2020, the government has invested over $152 million in Black Youth Action in this Black Youth Action Plan to support better outcomes for 80,000 Black children, youth, and families across the province. This investment will also help Black youth and young professionals develop skills for careers in high demand growth jobs in the sectors of health, information technology, automotive, and other skilled trades that are available to individuals that apply as well. And this government wants to make sure that the Ontarians have access to the tools they need in order to build successful careers, including skills development and professional mentorship as well. And finally, RISE, Racialized and Indigenous Supports for Entrepreneurs. This is the last opportunity we'll talk about on this one here just before we go to the trillion. But this is a really, really key one for others that are looking to apply. The program itself is easy to apply to. And again, I'll leave you a list of links right after this presentation. But the Racialized, Indigenous, and Supports for Entrepreneurs, RISE grant program has over 1,400 Indigenous, Black, and other racialized entrepreneurs by providing business development training, closer sponsored and tailored business coaching, networking opportunities, which is key, and a one-time grant of up to $10,000. So it's a pretty rich program, if you will. It's a self-paced program. It's about 8 weeks long in length, and participants can continue to operate their business while attending this program, which is key as well. Once admitted to the program, participants must complete the following activities within the government timelines and in order to receive that $10,000. There's an online business development training course, which is a minimum of 5 hours. A business coaching, including networking opportunity course as well, which is between 5 and 10 additional hours. And of course, they have to develop a business action plan following that in order to complete the funding opportunities that are available. Some additional messaging on that. Small businesses obviously are the backbone of this economy. And in 2022, the government launched a racialized and Indigenous supports for entrepreneur grant program. It's a hard one to get out to help entrepreneurs start and grow their own small to medium businesses. So the government has invested a total of $20 million to help support entrepreneurs and small business owners across the province. The program provides online business development training program, culturally responsive and tailored coaching needs, networking opportunities, and of course, the one-time grant of $10,000. This crucial investment will support more than 1,800 aspiring Black and other racialized entrepreneurs within the province of Ontario. So those are three that I quickly just mentioned. I know I was reading from a script that I'd prepared just before, as I'm not an expert in this, but definitely prepared to take a deeper dive in some of these following this presentation. Lastly, I wanted to identify quickly that the Ontario Trillium Foundation is an agency which was developed in order to help with a couple other alternatives as well. And it's very, very important to highlight this one, as it is a program that's readily available to all of you, each of you today. So I'll give you a little bit of a background on really what it is. But the Ontario Trillium Foundation, it's an agency started by the Ontario government, and it awards grants that are eligible to organizations to help build healthy and vibrant communities. It delivers the supports that deliver the community-based programs, services across a variety of priority areas, such as active lifestyles, arts and culture, as an example, environmental conservation, youth leadership, community connection, and social services. So a very, very broad expansion. And of course, we have many, many people that do apply. We have many, many people that do become granted part of these funds. So it's obviously a very, very important fund that we have to identify. I quickly talk about seed grants and growth grants, of course, capital grants that are available. Seed grants that can help organizations develop or maybe start new pilot ideas. So if you have an entrepreneur that's out there that's looking to start a new opportunity, engage with us. We would love to hear about it more and obviously have a deeper conversation about it. Growth grants that are available to you to help expand programs that are already in play, which is wonderful. And then capital grant programs to improve facilities or infrastructure. Maybe you've got a building or infrastructure needs that need to be uplifted or might need a fresh coat of paint on. Well, there's opportunity to access this grant or this fund, I should say, in order to help facilitate some of those. Eligible applicants, not just, but include nonprofit organizations, including registered charities, and of course, incorporated for nonprofit that have been operating for a period of time or are involved in community and community services. First Nations, of course, municipalities and local service boards, usually smaller municipalities. So we should discuss that one a little bit deeper. And organizations that partner or lead with responsibilities for larger projects in the future. So again, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to try something new and different, this is a great fund to access for sure. Really, what is this funding really for? It's used to support projects that have a direct and measurable benefit to communities within Ontario. So it could be launching or expanding a community program, youth services, recreation, or art, building on or improving community spaces, equipment, or facilities, or supporting organizational growth and capacity in the volunteer sector as well, which is very, very important to some of the people that are attending here today. And of course, initiatives to help young people connect, be more active, and access to essential services that are available with you today. So very, very high level on some of the programs that we offer, but the conversation doesn't stop there. Obviously sharing a few things with you today is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm very, very fortunate that I got invited to be with you today because I really want each and every one of you to know that the Ontario government does have a vested interest in launching certain programs and working with our youth and community, our entrepreneurs, our Black community in the the most generous way that we can. So we encourage you to engage with us. I've left some information here for sure, but I'd be happy to engage further. In our office, we have a small team of 5, but happy to line you up with the right ministries in order to advance any of these opportunities that you might see fit that we discussed today. And of course, to continue that conversation. If there's something that you just say, I don't know if I fall into this category, or my new business just doesn't seem to be fitting into one of the categories here, I'd be happy to engage with you to see if there's another ministry that we could attack or go after and have a discussion with to see if they would support your needs. Perhaps, Councillor King, I'll stop right there if that's okay. And if there's any questions, wonderful. If not, happy to share all this information afterwards, or feel free to engage with me and we'll get you in touch with the right ministry.
We are
Excellent.
definitely going to have everybody engage at the end for Q&A. So thank you so much, Scott. We really appreciate that. And you coming and giving this information. We will have an information packet going out to everybody, as the councillor said earlier. Councillor, the next person up is Yasser Naqvi, and I'll get you to introduce him.
Excellent. Well, it's really wonderful to have this opportunity to introduce, not just my good friend, but a good friend to Ottawa. Obviously, the MPP for Ottawa Centre, but somebody who provides a wonderful voice for many of us in the community. So it's wonderful to have the opportunity to have Yasser here to talk about the opportunities for entrepreneurs and other service providers from the Government of Canada. So, Yasser, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Rawlson, for that very kind introduction. As I'm just speaking, I believe Ngozi from our team will be putting up the slide up. Here we go. Fantastic. Thank you again for organizing this. Happy Black History Month to everyone. I think it is incredibly important that we have conversations like these where we can understand how governments operate, what kind of programs are available, and that in a really meaningful way that we are helping our communities thrive, in particularly the Black community. So I'm really excited that this is happening. I'll start by saying, look, I think our democracy is stronger if people from all backgrounds are elected, and I think Rawlson is a great example of that. This type of session perhaps would have not been happening if somebody like Rawlson King would have not been an elected representative in City of Ottawa. So I think that's a really direct example of making sure that our diverse communities are represented in all corridors, in all governments, at all tables. So those voices and knowledge sharing is there. So Rawlson, thank you very much for your leadership and friendship. Let me start by our slide 1 and just to quickly highlight the different kind of services your members of parliament could provide. First of all, as you know, in Ottawa, we have, I think, about 7 federal ridings. If you include the Outaouais region, the Gatineau side, we are 13 in total. We always suggest that it is best as to where you live or your business is. If you just go to Elections Canada's website or House of Commons website, put your postal code, it will give you all the information as to who your member of parliament is. And please feel free to reach out to them. But my contact information is all listed here as well, and we're here to support. There are many services as federal representatives that we provide to constituents. Most importantly, on issues relating to immigration, refugee, and citizenship matter. Perhaps probably the largest number of people that we help in that regards. But then also issues relating to Canada Revenue Agency, for example, or public service. These are all within the scope. Veterans Affairs is another area that comes to mind, all within the scope of your members of parliament that you can always reach out. In addition, in my office, we also provide any guidance that we can provide if you're applying for any federal funding programs. So we can answer your questions. If we don't have the answers, then we can reach out to the relevant government departments and get those answers for you. So please never hesitate to reach out. And not to mention, we can also provide letters of supports when you're applying for those for different fundings, so that there is some local support from your local member of parliament available, outlined as well. Next slide, please. There are some really dedicated program through Business Development Bank (BDC) that really focuses on Black community. And before I get into giving you some information about those programs, I do again want to highlight how important it is that we elect people from all backgrounds. A lot of these programs are part of Government of Canada's offering because of members of parliament like Greg Fergus from Gatineau, a very strong community leader, a very strong Black community leader, and a champion for making these programs available. Ariel Kayabaga from London, Ontario, Michael Cotto from Toronto, all really good friends who have worked very closely with. And they have been steadfast champions for programs like these to be made available, and it's always been an honor for me to work with them. So let me get into some specific programs that are available for Black entrepreneurs. And go see if you can go to next slide, please. The few that I would really want to highlight that are offered through BDC, Business Development Bank, are the Black Entrepreneurs Fund, or BEF. They're managed by BDC. They're about $100 million equity fund dedicated to supporting Black-led businesses with strong growth potential and promising business models. This fund supports 4 key programs. The first one is the Black Entrepreneurship Startup Program. Again, you'll get all these slides. All these things are hyperlinked when you get the slides online, so you can just click and it'll take you to the right website where you can get all this information. But this Black Entrepreneurship Startup Program supports financing, mentoring, and support tools to business owners, specifically designed to support young Black entrepreneurs on their journeys to success. It's run by an organization called Futurepreneurs. The other important program is, and I see if I can have the Black Entrepreneurship Program, just so you know, can finance up to $75,000 and is really meant for young people aged 18 to 39. So it's a really exciting program. The Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund is offered collaboratively between the Federation of African Canadian Economics, FACE, the Government of Canada, BDC, and private financial institutions. And it offers loans up to $250,000 to empower Black business owners across Canada, fostering growth and lasting impact. The next program to highlight is the Black Innovation Fund, which is a venture fund for Black-led tech startups. So really big focus on tech companies, and it's acts as a venture capital, investing in promising Black-led technology companies. And the last one I would like to highlight is the Inclusive Entrepreneurship Loan. This loan offers up to $350,000 to businesses, at least 51% owned and led by women, Indigenous, or Black entrepreneurs. So that's a very specific fund as well. As you can see, they all have been tailored and designed towards specific needs of the communities that we have heard, from young people to women-led organizations, high-tech startups, so that we are really fostering all kinds of businesses and entrepreneurship from within the community. Next slide talks about the Black Entrepreneurship Program, and it's an initiative that's developed with the Black business community to help address systemic barriers faced by Black business owners and entrepreneurs. Through there are 3 components that provide targeted support to Black business owners and entrepreneurs to help improve access to capital and business support services. Next slide. The one thing I don't want to take too much time, but what I would highlight is the knowledge gathering that we're also trying to do, so that we really truly understand the systemic barriers and develop better policy solutions that will help challenge and break down those systemic barriers. The one that I'm really proud of is the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, which is established at Carleton University, so right in our backyard at the Sprott School of Business, and by Dream Legacy Foundation. They conduct large-scale qualitative and quantitative research on Black entrepreneurship in Canada, providing a detailed map of Black business ecosystems across the country, identifying critical gaps where Black entrepreneurs are facing the greatest challenges. Um, I've had the chance to engage with the hub. Their website is worth checking out because there's so much incredible information available. Again, they're critical to provide policy guidance to governments, federal government and provincial and municipal as well, so that we are creating policies that do not exacerbate those systemic barriers, but in fact breaks them down. Lastly, on the last slide are some other programs and tools. Again, I will not go through them. You will have them. The only one I will highlight is the very last one, which is the Canada Summer Jobs Program. It is for employers. It's a remarkable program. Every summer, Government of Canada funds young people, students, high school, college, university students to work in different businesses. For non-profit organization, the salaries are 100% funded by federal government. For-profit businesses, it's a cost share, so it brings your cost down. But what it really does is provides opportunities to young people and helps smaller businesses in particular and not-for-profit organizations to develop a talent. Is a program that I'm really keen and excited about and help a lot of organizations in Ottawa help access. So you can always reach out to us on that. So Rawlson, I'll stop here. I know it's a lot of information. I'm excited that we are sharing these slides with everyone because there's they can spend the time necessary and learn more, and of course reach out to us at any time. Merci.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing that information. I think it's very important because we know the federal government spends a tremendous amount of money on entrepreneurship. And it was heartening. I was at the Government of Canada's Black History Month celebration at the Museum of History last week, probably with many of you as well in attendance. But it was really heartening to hear Prime Minister Carney talk about the investments that the federal government would continue based on their last budget, a renewed investment of up to $190 million over 5 years to support Black entrepreneurs and business. And I think that's it was very heartening to hear that right within his speech, that there was going to be a continuation of these investments, especially the $67 million into the Black Entrepreneurship Loan Fund, which you mentioned, as well as allocating $7.5 million to the Black Entrepreneurship Knowledge Hub, the hub that operates. I know that they have a branch operating out of Carleton University and doing very, very good work. So very thankful to have you around the table to provide such an in-depth presentation to our audience this afternoon. And we're also very thankful to have Cynthia Paget from the City of Ottawa to also talk about funding opportunities in our community from the City of Ottawa. So I'm pleased to now ask Cynthia to provide her presentation.
Thank you for the introduction, Councillor King. I do not see the option to share my screen, Erin. Oh, yes, I do. Can you all see? Beautiful. Thank you for that. So thank you for welcoming me today. I'm very pleased to be with you all. Thank you, Councillor King, for hosting the event today. And thank you, Sophia, for such powerful acknowledgement at the beginning of the event. My name is Cynthia Paget. I'm the Program Manager of Social Development and Funding at the City of Ottawa, and I have the privilege to oversee the city's community funding framework. So I'm here today to present you the work that we do in close collaboration with Ottawa's social services sector. I'll present you with upcoming funding and capacity building opportunities that can be of interest, how to access the city's community funding program, and what other funding opportunities are available across the city, as we cannot do this alone. The community funding framework aims to make Ottawa a more equitable and inclusive city, and this is something that we do together, from community organizing to serving residents with needed the most, to philanthropic and funding bodies. It is together that we support and advance the well-being of residents across communities, and I'm very privileged to be able to participate in that process. The mandate of the community funding is to invest in a sustainable and in a sustainable social infrastructure of community nonprofit social services that together provide equitable access to programs and services, respond to persistent and emerging community needs, and collaborate to build community capacity and development and advance the well-being of residents and communities. At the City of Ottawa and in the work that we do, we are committed to applying an anti-colonialist equity and inclusion lens to our practices, policies, and decisions. For us, this means actively identifying and addressing systemic barriers, prioritizing fairness and transparency, ensuring that funding processes and outcomes promote meaningful participation and equitable access for all communities, particularly those historically underserved.
And Cynthia, we just wanted to just quickly say that some people can't see the slides advancing. I think we're seeing kind of your speakers mode for the slides rather than kind of the full presentation in play. So
you could see me read my notes.
Yes, sorry.
Thank you so much for flagging it for me. So did I do okay following my notes?
Absolutely. A lot of quality information, but we'll just see if we can get you to fix that up in terms of the presentation mode.
Exactly. So let me see. I will share my screen 3. See if that is better. Is it still the same?
Yes, it's still the same.
Anybody has any advice for me?
Cynthia,
I'm getting instructions to click view.
If you just try clicking view, Cynthia, that might give us some options there.
Okay.
At the top menu, you'll see review, view, help at the very top of the screen. File,
Okay.
home, insert.
I had lost you. So you said share. Can you repeat that?
And then you want to click view from the menu drop downs.
I do not see. Event sharing option. No. Sorry about that. I think I'm really used to
Teams.
To Teams.
Yeah.
Cynthia,
but we will figure it out. Thank you so much for your patience.
Cynthia, if I share my screen again, I can show you what it looks like. How does that sound?
Yes, I think it could be.
Let's try it. If I do this and I screen share 2, you're going to see a little.
But is it better now?
Oh, I might have taken over. I'm sorry. You might see this little thing in the corner down here, right where my cursor is, bottom right-hand corner. If you click that, then it takes you to your slideshow mode.
Ah, okay. But then I won't have my notes, but that would be okay.
Oh,
okay.
Then it should be on another screen. Your note will pop up if you have dual screens.
Hey, I'm so sorry, everybody. I do not see that on my screen when I present it. So
I think I might have seen it just as you brought it up there.
Here. No, I'm sorry. Will that be okay if I talk to you and I share the screen with the information?
Sure. No, there's no problem with
Will
that.
that would work?
Yeah, we just wanted to notify you, and then of course you just need to
Mm.
advance the slides so people can see them. I think that was the one ask from somebody in the chat.
Oh, okay. I'm still on this one. So is that okay if I tell you and then we share the presentation with the
Sure,
participants?
absolutely.
Okay, beautiful. So thank you for that quick adaptation, everybody. So I will be able to look at you more directly now. So as I was saying, now that I reorganize my screen here, so we're still on the vision, mission, and vision. So the community funding framework has 3 priorities: poverty reduction, that involves both addressing the root cause and alleviating the effect of poverty in the community. We also invest in community development as an inclusive process where community members became engaged, educated, and able to generate and implement collective solutions to shared concerns. We also invest in social infrastructure, which refer to the network of institutions, services, and community-based systems that supports residents and communities in meeting their social need and strengthening community resilience and well-being. I wanted to point out to you that in 2025, we undertook a review of the funding framework to ensure that it continues to meet community needs and support equity and sustainability. For that midterm review, we used the 2-step engagement process. We distributed a sector-wide survey followed by a focus group for the deeper dialogue. Some of you might have participated in some of those sessions. We're grateful for your time and your expertise. We intentionally reached out to Indigenous serving agencies, equity deserving communities, including B3 agencies, Francophone and rural agencies, and we included both funded and non-funded organizations in the engagement. What we've heard across Ottawa's non-for-profit sector is that the pressure is significant and growing. You know that as much or better than I do. But the sector is faced with rising costs and inflation, staffing shortage and burnout, systemic barriers that disproportionately impact equity-deserving organizations, and often a limited capacity to invest time in research for funding or grant applications and an ability to collaborate. What we've done with that feedback is that we pull it out in a what we've learned report that is currently available on ottawa.ca/community funding. We will share with you all the information. But what we've gathered from that is that there are processes that the community funding already does that answer to some of those needs. We offer multi-year funding whenever possible. We support collaboration across the sector through funding and relationships. We have equity-focused criteria that are embedded in our decision-making. We host information sessions, and we offer one-on-one coaching calls from funding specialists to help orient organizations on the framework and what is required in submitting an application. Well, we will also be bringing forward new streamlined applications, reporting processes, and policies. We're going to be developing a comprehensive capacity building approach, including offering grant writing workshops. The first one will be hosted on February 18 and 19 in collaboration with the province, regional advisors that also support funding allocations. I will send the link to Erin just after, because there is still room to register for the French workshop on February 19. The February 18 has quickly reached capacity, but we still have space in the Francophone one, and we would love to invite you there. The results of the midterm review will be presented to Community and Social Services Committee on February 24th, and will bring to Council on March 11. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of what the new funding policy framework looks like. It is pending Council approval on March 11, but the community funding framework has 7 funding streams. We have the sustainability funding that is designed to build a strong and stable nonprofit sector. It provides stable, predictable, 5-year operational funding. We offer project funding that supports planned, time-limited initiative, pilot projects, or capacity building work. It's from 1, 2, or 3 years for a pilot or reinforcing the capacity or the scope of an existing program. We will also be introducing a community response funding. It's an approach that provides rapid, flexible support in urgent situations when a community is facing a time-sensitive challenge that needs immediate action. So that will support short-term, one-time activities designed to stabilize the situation and strengthen community well-being, resiliency, and equity. Sorry. That can cover things like healing circles, outreach, community meeting, conflict resolution, temporary staffing, or mobilization of effort during a period of change or pressure. We also offer emergency funding for helping organizations to manage unexpected critical expenses that could interrupt essential service delivery. Emergency funding is available to only 2 agencies currently receiving multi-year funding from the framework to ensure that the service that they offer are not disrupted. We have like 3 more. So the civic event funding is currently open. So on ottawa.ca/community funding, you will see that a civic event is a special edition this year. We're celebrating the 200th anniversary of Bytown. We have 2 streams, up to $10,000 or up to $25,000 to host local, family-friendly, community-led events that help residents connect with their neighbors and strengthen community belonging, at the same time celebrating what the 200th anniversary of Bytown means for the organizations or for the community. We also have 2 funding streams that are directly linked to city priorities. The Community Safety and Wellbeing Plan funding provides support to organizations from 1 to 3 years to deliver actions and projects that advance or address the priorities identified in the plan. We are also offering older adult plan funding. It's another long-standing strategy of the city. So organizations will be able to apply to this fund to propose initiatives that advance the work of the plan. Interesting point that I wanted to bring to you that might be of interest for you in the room today. We will be looking at developing a capacity building pilot to be launched and evaluated this year up to 2028 in close collaborations with the Anti-Racism Secretariat. We've heard in the midterm review, validated that grassroots and equity-driven organizations face unique challenges. Many are small, volunteer-led, and deeply connected to their community, yet often lack the infrastructure required to navigate complex processes. So when I talk about the capacity building approach earlier, we're talking about the simplification of processes and policies, which are in the way. We also want to be able to support community-based networks that will directly work with organizations in capacity building. We offered in Project Funding 2025, funding to the Ottawa Black Coalition for the Backbone Project, and funding to Volunteer Ottawa for a capacity building project that really answer to those needs. And the capacity building fund will be piloted this year. You'll hear more about it. This is still in development, but we are very excited to see what that will look like. And we will need your input through it all to make sure that the investment and the processes are relevant to the needs that we see in the communities. How much more time do I have?
You still have another 6 minutes.
Thank you, Sophia. Here you go. Okay. The community funding framework the funding from the framework is available to organizations that have been registered for at least 2 years. So it means like an incorporated nonprofit. To apply, you need an organizational mandate that aligns with community funding priorities, poverty reduction, community development, and systems and network to support that work. The agencies need an elected board of directors and be in good standing with the city, meaning no arrears. But what is key to start is a registration of the nonprofit and an elected board of directors and a mandate that aligns with the priorities. And we're happy to meet with agencies and organizations that want to know more about the funding, because really that is the best way for us to get to know the work that you do and for you to get to know how the work that we do can support yours. So we post all funding opportunities on ottawa.ca at community funding. We also have a distribution list. And if you do not receive the updates from community funding about upcoming opportunities, you can reach out to us by email, and we'll make sure to add you. And for that, in closing, I just want to say, and we'll share the slides so you have access to this. But as I mentioned earlier, advancing well-being, equity, and responding to complex and evolving human needs, we need all of us. I'm very grateful for Scott Fallon and MP Yassir Nafti to present and offer such important funding opportunities. There's also much more opportunities, also many more opportunities available in Ottawa. United Way, Eastern Ontario, currently have their community fund call proposal open. The Ottawa Community Foundation currently has 3 funding streams open: a community sector leadership grant, a free-to-play, and their community initiatives grant are currently open. The Ontario Trillium Foundation also has currently or upcoming community investment opening, and we've heard a little bit earlier about the Youth Opportunities Fund that I wanted to highlight because we know how youth is a priority across the board. And you also have other partners to consider when looking for funding. That diversification is really important for your organization. There are many foundation or financial institutions that also offer grants, the TD Foundation, Canadian Tire, CBC, RBC, and so on. So there's the sources of the options available are there. And we're happy to work together on making sure that the organization gets the support and the information that you need to be successful. Again, my sincere apology for my lack of Zoom skills, but you will get all the information there. You get our contact information, and the best way to really get to know the framework is to reach out to community funding at ottawa.ca, schedule an introduction call, and then we can take it from there.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you so much. No, thank you so much, Cynthia, for the presentation, and we will, as we had noted before, distribute the presentation to all attendees. So don't worry about that. That's definitely going to occur. The important thing was the quality information that you shared with us today, and the fact that the city of Ottawa is demonstrating, I think, the staff, the good work of Clara Freire, who's also on the call, the GM for social services, as well as your team. We know that you're listening in terms of the responsiveness, frankly, to community concerns around accessing grant opportunities by reviewing and determining if there are ways that we can strengthen the potential for other community groups, especially grassroots groups, to access funding. So that was a message that we heard over the last few years, especially at our budget consultations. And definitely to the credit of staff, that message has been received, and work is underway, like you said, pending council approval, but work will be before us to determine ways to make that more accessible. And I also want to thank Yasser and Scott for really providing and sharing information about funding pathways, grant programs, and public sector resources relevant to Black-led, Black-serving, and Black-focused organizations and entrepreneurs. Your presentations have been very, very informative, and we will have questions at the end. But at this point, we're moving on to entrepreneurship and non-grant supports, with a view of highlighting programs and services that support business readiness, sustainability, and growth beyond grants. And so it's a real pleasure to begin this portion of our session with Sonia Shorey, who is the CEO of Invest Ottawa.
Thank you so much, Councillor. We are so excited to be here today. Bonjour tout le monde. We are your lead economic development agency here in the great city of Ottawa, and we are very passionate about the opportunity to work with founders, entrepreneurs, business owners, current and aspiring, from every single walk of life. We are really honored to be a part of today's event. And of course, I have an incredible colleague who is going to walk you through how we lean in and provide different types of supports, programs, and services with the generous support of the city, together with the province of Ontario, the government of Canada, and incredible leaders from many different sectors and functions of expertise in business. And we're all about leaning in, helping to launch, grow, scale sustainably so that we contribute to our economy. We help you create the jobs, the opportunities, and the growth that really lifts everyone in our community. Before I hand over the reins to my incredible colleague, Sarah Ann, who's going to walk you through all things entrepreneurship, I want to tell you about some exciting events that we are hosting in collaboration with amazing partners and leaders for Black History Month. On Monday evening at the Standard, to support our downtown revitalization strategy, a critical part of our economy, together with our friends and partners at Changemaker Hub, led by the amazing Mona Bao. We love her, and we collaborate with her in many different ways. We're hosting something called Let's Tech Together. And so this is where we bring together many different people across our community, folks from the tech sector, post-secondaries, our Main Street businesses, students, policymakers. It's everyone in. And we bring it together, not for any programming. We are there as your team to broker new linkages, connections, relationships, introduce you to people that maybe you would never meet in your regular orbit. So it's a chance to really broaden your circles and also hopefully look for new opportunities for learning and mentorship. That is from 5 to 8 p.m. at the Standard. It's on Elgin Street. If you would like to join us, reach out to me on LinkedIn and we will send you a personal invitation with a discount code. The proceeds go to Changemaker Hub to support those amazing young Black entrepreneurs that are being supported by Mona and her team. And then on the 24th of this month, we have another special opportunity. We're hosting an event with many partners in Canada North, together again, Changemaker Hub. We have Canada North Business Association, Wesley Clover, Invest Ottawa, Ottawa Tourism, and a very special sponsorship from TD, and as well some other industry leaders that are coming together. Build, Buy, Believe. It is our Black History Month event, and we are going to have all kinds of founders and entrepreneurs from previous cohorts at Changemaker Hub and those that are just going through that incredible program, demonstrating and exhibiting on that date. And then we have an incredible program for everyone, and we would love everyone to join us. So it's hosted again at the Brook Street Hotel. Very special event. I see LinkedIn's already coming through. So, Councillor, we're already on a path to action, which is amazing. We also have our International Women's Month programming coming up. That is a very special month. We want to lift women founders, entrepreneurs, and leaders from every walk of life, including those amazing ones from our Black founder community. So please take a peek at my LinkedIn. We're just starting that promotion. We have many free events. They are open to all. For current and aspiring founders, people from every walk of life, champions, allies, supporters, all are welcome. It's everyone in. And so I leave that with you, Councillor King. Thank you for everything you do for our city to support our founders and our entrepreneurs. And I am going to lean in and invite you to hear from the great Sarah Ann Perrin, who is our manager of entrepreneurship. I'll pop something into the chat, my email address, so that everyone here, if you're not on LinkedIn, and I'm a LinkedIn girl, so I totally respect there's many social platforms. I'll give you a way to connect with me so we can get you engaged with us. We're here to support you. We want to help you fulfill your goals. I hope that helps.
Thank you so
Excellent.
much.
Thank you so much. And I have to say, thank you so much for making Bayview Yards, the indispensable source of entrepreneurship in terms of resources, especially for the Black and racialized communities, the Indigenous communities. I've attended so many different events for our community around artificial intelligence, as example, or for other communities, the Indigenous Business Awards. The amount of services at Bayview Yards is important that Invest Ottawa provides to the community. But I think also having a physical space where people can network and where people can interface is very important. And, I've seen throughout many years the deepening of connections with community members at Bayview Yards. So I really want to thank you for that. And we're going to hear more information from Sarah about the opportunities, I'm sure, at Bayview Yards that the community can take advantage of.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Sonia, for the introduction, and Councillor King for hosting this. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, I'm hoping that everyone can see this. I'm going to present. Okay, someone yell at me because I can't see you all anymore. So just let me know if you can't see this. But my name is Sarah. I have the pleasure of working at Invest Ottawa as the manager of the entrepreneurship program. So today I'm going to give you guys a bit of a rundown on what we do here at Invest Ottawa. So to start, a lot of people know about our tech programming. So a very big portion of Invest Ottawa works with the tech community, helping businesses from ideation all the way up to $100 million in revenue. So we have a program that suits businesses at all levels on that side. This is what we call the venture path. And we have a section on our website on Invest Ottawa with if you go to 4 tech companies, that will give you a bit more of a rundown on what you need to be, how you can be eligible for those programs. I'm actually on another team, which is what I'm going to dive deeper into today. So I'm part of the Small Business Enterprise Center, which is also known as an SBEC, for those that are familiar. There's 54 centers across Ontario, and we are one of those 54. Our job specifically is to support non-tech entrepreneurs in the Ottawa area. So if you live on the outskirts of Ottawa, so say you live in like Rockland or Carleton Place, then there's a center that would support you. And if you go to SBC Ontario, under locations, you can find which center supports you. But we specifically work with the Ottawa community. So one of the services that we offer at Invest Ottawa would be our business advisory. So we're very, very fortunate to work with 8 different business advisors, and we offer different opportunities for you to consult with these different business owners. So essentially, you could go onto our website and under request advisory services, if you're looking to have some type of question answered in regards to, say, finances or business structure, business expansion, marketing strategies, you can meet with one of these 8 advisors. virtually for free. The meetings are 50 minutes long. Again, they are virtual, so they're a bit more accessible if you're not able to make something in person. And it's a really great opportunity for you to ask questions. So being an entrepreneur myself, I can definitely sympathize with the fact that we don't have a boss. So we don't often know who to go to for our questions. This is your opportunity to go and seek advice. We do have people on our team, in that team of 8, that, you know, are CPAs. So if you have a question in regards to bookkeeping, you can go and consult about that. You won't be able to have them do your bookkeeping unless you contract them outside of Invest Ottawa, but you can go and you can ask your questions. So for example, we have people say, I don't know what bookkeeping software would best suit my business at this point in time. Can you help me with that? Yes, that's something that we work on. Could you help me build out a go-to-market strategy for my new product? Absolutely. That's something that they can help with. We also have really, really amazing partners at Invest Ottawa in the legal and accounting and insurance fields. And they offer free drop-in sessions once per month. So if that's ever something that you're interested in, under request advisory services on our website, you can consult with one of these business professionals. After that, we have our education center. This is a great opportunity for you to attend workshops for free. We host 7 to 12 workshops a month. And last year we had just over 3,000 people attend these workshops. Most of them are hybrid, so you'd be able to watch from home, or you can attend in person. There are some that are only in person, but that would be very clear when you're on our website under the event calendar, what one is hybrid and what one's just in person. Some of the topics that we cover every single month would be importing and exporting, Google Ads. We do an e-commerce 101 and 201 workshop every single month, and validating your business idea. I think that these are a really good opportunity for you to meet people, to network as well. I know that sometimes entrepreneurship can be lonely, and that you don't have coworkers all the time. So this is a great opportunity for you to network and meet people. And Bayview Yards that's where Invest Ottawa is out of, and it's very lively. There's free parking. There's also free coffee. So definitely a benefit of coming there, but it's a good opportunity for you to meet people. So this education center is where you can get access to those free workshops. And then the biggest part of our team and what I spend all of my time doing is the entrepreneurship programs. So we have 3 different programs that we offer on our team, and I'm going to go through them all one by one. It is a high-level look at all of this, but if you have questions, happy to answer them during the Q&A period or after via email. So the first one would be Starter Company Plus. This is a provincially funded program, and we help non-tech business owners either launch, grow, or expand their business. It is a 3-month training program, so you have access to weekly workshops. These are a mix of hybrid, a mix of online and in person. So they're either all in person or all online. And you also have access to a business mentor. So you get paired with someone that's either in your industry, or if you express a certain need. So, I'd really like to talk to someone in marketing, then we'll pair you with a marketing professional. You also have an opportunity to pitch your business for a grant of up to $5,000. So the big draw for this program would be that $5,000 grant. I will say that in order to receive the grant, you have to attend all the workshops, you have to attend your mentorship time, and you have to pitch your business. And if you meet all of those, then you would be awarded that grant at the end of the program. There are some rules on where and a few regulations on where the grant can go, just for full transparency, but that's something that I could talk to you guys about via email after. To be eligible for this program, you have to be 18 years or older, and you can't be returning to school. So the idea is that we are funding entrepreneurs that are looking to make entrepreneurship their full-time career at some point. And we host 2 cohorts per year. So the first is in April, and it's a CPG. So it's consumer packaged good, and it's food only. So anyone that is making food, packaging it, and selling it, like a granola bar or a cookie or a popcorn or something like that, would be in that April cohort. And then September is general intake. So I will say that this program is very, very popular. Last year, we had 900 people on the wait list. Just under 300 people applied for the program, and we only have 27 seats. So if you don't make it into the program in the first time, please apply again. It is very, very popular. which is definitely great, but just be aware of that when you're applying for it. And then Summer Company. This is a program that is targeted towards students. So it's for students between the ages of 15 to 29. And these students are trying to run a business throughout the summer before they return to school. So we work with a lot of high school students and students in college or university. And it's a lot of, say, like landscapers or people in the trades or makers that are going to farmers markets and selling, plush toys or bracelets or something like that. You have access to, it's a 3-day boot camp followed by bi-weekly workshops. You get paired with a business mentor, and it's a lot of hands-on experience. So we're giving you the business basics so you can add those to your tool chest, and then you can go run your business throughout the summer. You also receive a startup grant of $3,000. It's divided into two. So you get a $2,000 grant at the beginning of the summer, and this is for your startup costs. So anything that you would need to start running your business. So say you were a landscaper and you needed a branded shirt, you need some lawn signs, you needed flyers, and you needed to put some money towards maybe a lawnmower. That would be considered your startup costs. Insurance as well, obviously, and business registration. And then if you complete the program, so you attend your mentorship, you attend the workshops, then you would be awarded a $1,000 grant. So that's second portion of the grant at the end of the summer as a reward for completing the program. I'll just reiterate that you do have to be returning to school in the fall to be eligible for this program. The applications for this program are actually open right now. They opened on February 2nd. So if you're interested, you can go onto our website under Summer Company, and all the information will be there. You submit an application inquiry, and then after that, you would be my team would reach out to you and we'll give you the next steps. This program has only 21 seats in it. So again, a very popular program. And then the last one that I'm going to talk about today is our e-commerce accelerator program. So this one's a little bit new. We've only been running it for about 2 years now. But it's an intensive 2-day boot camp where you're going to learn all about growing your online presence, so your online store. So this is specifically for product-based businesses, so not service-based. This one's product-based businesses and people that are trying to sell online and are just looking to grow that portion of their business. So it's a 2-day boot camp followed by 6 months of peer groups. There is no grant that's attached to this program, but the value add would be that 6 months of peer groups where you get to work one-on-one with an e-commerce professional to help grow your online store. You also get access to SEO, an SEO consultant who will do an audit of your website and then go through, what changes potentially need to be made to help grow your online presence. You also can work with professionals in marketing and we did email campaigns last year, and we brought in HR professionals. So we can really tailor that advisory support to what you're looking for at this point in your business. This e-commerce program, the next cohort is at the end of April, and then applications are going to be opening at the end of March. So those are the 3 programs and the advisory support and the education center that we have under the SBEC. My name is Sarah. If you have any questions, please reach out to me via email. You can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Happy to talk with you guys after this if you are interested or have any eligibility questions. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that insightful presentation about all the services that are available through Invest Ottawa. We also have services that are available through the City of Ottawa in terms of economic development. So at this time, I'd love to invite Eric Hopkins, the Economic Development Officer at the City of Ottawa, to provide a presentation.
Thank you, Councillor King, for the opportunity to participate in this town hall. I'll share my screen. Can everybody see that okay? My name's Eric Hopkins.
I don't think we can see it yet.
No? I actually have to press share. How about now? We good? All right.
We're good, Eric. Yeah, you're okay.
My name is Eric Hopkins. I'm an Economic Development Officer in the Strategic Initiatives Department. We wanted to highlight some of the work being done in the city around community economic development and small business support. So the city's been operating a community economic development funding program for over 10 years. This program provides support to nonprofit organizations that help underrepresented groups participate in the local economy by funding projects that create new enterprises and resilient jobs. For example, one of the 2025 Community Economic Development Grant recipients was Active Newcomer Youth Ottawa, ANYO. It's a local organization that works with refugee claimants and at-risk youth. The project they proposed included barter training and mentoring to create employment opportunities for over 120 youth, including opportunities for self-employment. A little bit more about the entrepreneurial support available through the city. Depending on the type of business you're opening, you may require a business license or permit from the city. Business information officers in the bylaw and regulatory services department are an excellent resource that can assist you through the process. You can contact them at bio1stop@ottawa.ca. There's also a specialized business ambassador service specifically for food businesses. The permits and inspections for those businesses are a little bit more intensive, so we've created a specialized program to assist people wanting to start restaurants and other food businesses. The picture you can see in the bottom right corner is of the city's business licensing center on Industrial Avenue. That's open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 4:15. They recently completed a retrofit process. The facility is now fully accessible with dedicated parking, a new client service desk, and waiting area. So depending on the type of business license you need, you can either go to the Business Licensing Center or you can go to any of the City of Ottawa client service centers. There's also client service centers available like in rural locations 1 day a week. To sort of serve the needs of our rural residents. The city, to launch Small Business Week, the city launched a small business navigator on ottawa.ca/business. This is a one-stop shop to assist entrepreneurs with the process of opening a business. It's organized around 4 key business stages. Planning a business, launching a business, growing a business, or transferring an existing business. So this tool was developed in collaboration with local organizations that support entrepreneurs in our city, like Invest Ottawa, the Ottawa Public Library. They actually have a business librarian who can assist people with market research, and the city's business licensing branch. We've received quite a bit of feedback on this tool since it was launched at Small Business Week, and we've been able to incorporate most of the changes that were proposed from our partners in the business community. And a little bit about some of our partner organizations. The city collaborates with several local organizations to provide support to entrepreneurs. As Sarah mentioned, this could sort of be business advisory services through Invest Ottawa, incubator and accelerator programs, and facilitating access to funding. A couple of the other organizations the city partners with is the Ottawa Community Loan Fund for small business loans, the Center for Social Enterprise Development that's specifically geared towards nonprofits, and Mona's organization Changemaker that operates a Black entrepreneurship hub. Yeah, and sorry, one sec, lost my place here. I'd like to introduce Changemakers founder and CEO, Mana Abo, to say a few words about her organization.
Thank you so much, Eric. And I want to say thank you to everyone who's here today. A lot of familiar faces, and I want to thank all the governments, different levels of governments that are here today to kind of demystify what's available for the community, because a lot is available, but it's hard to navigate the systems. And partly what we do is demystifying the ecosystem, working with our partners as the city, as well as Invest Ottawa, to make access and inclusion available for Black entrepreneurs. So just to give you a little bit of background, I know we don't have much time, and we're kind of part of this presentation, but I'll give you a little bit of an overview of who we are and what we do. Changemaker Innovation Hub started in 2022, and it was really a need to create a culturally responsive support and resources for Black entrepreneurs. As you know, Black entrepreneurs face huge barriers. Over 60% of entrepreneurs in general struggle with mental health and wellness. And when you add historic disparities for Black entrepreneurs and Black communities in general, they needed to be culturally responsive resources. And that's how the Changemaker Innovation Hub was born. And so mental health and wellness is part of our pillars, is one of the main pillars of our resources and programming. It's embedded in all that we do. And just to give you a quick overview of our programs, our flagship program, the incubator program, is all about first step about entrepreneurship, meeting our participants where they're at. In most cases, this is their first formal training for entrepreneurship. And so we meet them where they're at. We help them understand the standards, the language, the technical skills. We connect them with local mentors who are Black, who have gone through the same experiences, who can direct them and guide them in the right direction. We also engage in network building, ecosystem capacity building. Like I said, the Canadian and the local entrepreneurship space is robust, but oftentimes Black entrepreneurs struggle to access resources and information. So bringing big organizations like BDC, like PAYS, like Export Development Canada is part of what we do in demystifying that process. In addition to that, we offer youth entrepreneurship summer program, and it's designed to allow young entrepreneurs who are looking into entrepreneurship as a path forward as far as career is concerned. It's short and robust program. Last year, we had the chance to support 15-year-olds develop apps that provide real life solutions. And so we want to make sure that they have that exposure. So if they want to pursue entrepreneurship, there is a support and pathways for that. And now we're actually starting an accelerator program. We've recently launched that program, and it's for entrepreneurs that went through our cohorts. We've completed 4 incubator program cohorts, and so the accelerator is there to continue that support and give them more a la carte type of service, so that they can pick what they need based on what they're experiencing and where they're at their journey. We actually have an exhibition at the Biowood Market during Black History Month that showcases not only our programs, but other Black-led organizations that are serving our community, including Black History Ottawa, Michael Jean Foundation, Jacques Combat, and many more. So I encourage you to visit Gallery 55 throughout Black History Month and kind of learn about what exists. And we're here too. So if you need more information, more support, we have a co-working space that's accessible to our community. So we encourage you to use that space. It's a community hub. It's used by many organizations that want to host their events there. It's also open to individual entrepreneurs that want to get out of the house and connect with each other. I want to add a couple of things, couple of new initiatives that we launched last year. The Hub Market Cafe is a community cafe as well as a marketplace. Currently, we have over 40 vendors that are accessing that space. It's at the Bywood Market. It provides them the opportunity to make use of this high traffic touristic area, and a lot of them are able to increase their exposure, increase their revenue, and collectively benefit from that space. We are trying to come up with innovative ways to make entrepreneurship accessible for Black entrepreneurs. It hasn't been easy historically, and so traditional programs may not support Black entrepreneurs in the way that they need to be supported. So we're asking the questions and coming up with innovative ways that provide that solution. We've also launched the Black Print magazine, which allows us to express our impact in a way that is more meaningful, that go beyond numbers. And we're excited to feature Councillor King in the issue that's coming out at the end of this month. And so we're excited to highlight leaders, innovators, artists that are doing amazing work in our city. It allows us to put Ottawa on the map and kind of just celebrate the incredible things that are happening. And one last thing I want to add is the Converge Summit that we launched 2 years ago in 2024. It's another platform that creates connection and collaboration. So we invite innovators again and impact makers locally as well as nationally to convene once a year during Small Business Week so that we can get to know each other, share ideas, share innovation, and continue to collaborate and grow together as a community. We thank the City of Ottawa for sponsoring last year's Converge Summit, and we look forward to sharing more of the programs that are coming up. I don't want to take more of your time, Eric, so I'll hand it back to you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Mona. That was great. Just one more slide, and then I think we're moving on to the Q&A. Just a little bit about some other partner organizations that the city works with. Depending on the type of businesses you're operating, some of these organizations may be able to provide assistance. For example, Ottawa Tourism promotes restaurants and culinary experiences to visitors. The Ottawa Board of Trade and its Francophone counterpart, RGA, can connect business owners with networking opportunities in our city. The Ottawa Music Industry Coalition and the Ottawa Festival Network can connect entrepreneurs with creative sector opportunities. And finally, the city's 18 business improvement areas offer many services to their members, and there's a lot of opportunity for knowledge transfer between members and networking. And that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Okay, we are going to get into the Q&A. Just a few things before we start the Q&A. This is Black Futures in Focus, so we are going to focus on forward-thinking projects, events, and opportunities for Black communities. So this would be the time to ask questions for things that are coming up. We won't be taking any questions that are like declined applications or anything, again, from the ward specific or alternative conversations. Your Q&A pieces, if you can just keep your questions really short, and then we can get the folks who are here to respond, who are still here to respond appropriately. And we're just asking that the responses also be in a short manner so we can get through as many questions as possible, because you will be getting, again, a resource package at the end of this. You'll be receiving an email in next week with all of the information. And if you have questions, then you can send it to the office. So we'll do by raising hands. So if you just use your buttons at the bottom to raise your hand, And when you have a question, we will go in that order of speaking. So we'll just wait till folks get situated. You can also use the chat for questions. I think, Francis, if you have a question, I will unmute you. You have 30 seconds to ask your question. You have to unmute yourself. Okay, Francis, you're unmute. You have 30 seconds for your question. We can't hear you.
Yeah, I think Francis might
Okay.
need to work out his video, but I
Okay.
think
Go ahead,
Godwin.
Greg. Yeah. All right. Go ahead, Godwin.
Go.
Yep. You can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you all very much for these insightful presentations, and I'm grateful to be part of this. I come to this event wearing 3 or 4 different hats, so bear with me. First of all, I'm the editor and publisher of Black Ottawa Scene, which is as far as I know, the only newspaper that focuses on the Black community in Ottawa. My first request is it okay for me to publish the proceedings of this event in my newspaper? Would that be
Yeah,
okay? So it can reach
absolutely.
a bigger audience.
Absolutely. I mean, we want to get the word out about the resources that are available to the community. And one of the things we will do as well is circulate the presentations, and we might also do that on our website so that we can link people directly to the video and to the presentations that provide more resources to people. So yes, absolutely.
Okay. Can I ask my second question?
Yes, go ahead, Godwin.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
Cynthia, you did say that the grants are available to not-for-profits that have been in operation for over 2 years. My newspaper has been around since 2013, but we've only been incorporated in the last year. How do we fit into this, this eligibility? Does that mean that we cannot apply because we've not been incorporated that long?
Thank you for the question, Godwin, and thank you for the question in the chat as well. So yeah, the basic requirement or criteria for eligibility for the community funding framework is being incorporated for 2 years, at the exception of the civic event funding currently open, where you do not need to be incorporated. The other ones, it needs to be 2 years. Many of the funding stream also allow for sponsorship. So if your organization can partner or be sponsored by an organization that has been in existence for at least 2 years, this is eligible for all the other funding streams. Yeah, at the exception of the sustainability funding, where sponsorships are not accepted. But for project funding, community response, and that kind of other opportunities, you need to be registered for 2 years or be sponsored by an organization.
Thank you, Cynthia. We'll go to the chat. I'll come to you in a second, Francis. We'll go to the chat. Is there any resources that support Black disabled communities? If anybody has the response. Cynthia, maybe Mona, if you might know something.
Hello, Mona, by the way. I do not know. That's a great question. Not that I'm aware of, like an organization or research that really address both. I'm sorry to say that nothing comes to mind. Okay. That's a great question.
And
that's a question we'll take back.
Yeah, that's something we'll take back, even for political consideration, because that's a very interesting dimension that, frankly, I haven't given much consideration to as well. So, from a policy and a political perspective, we'd be willing to examine that as well.
Super. Thank you, Councillor. Francis, we'll try you. You can unmute. No, your sound is still not working. It's still not working. Sorry. Oh, Scott, you had your hand up. We'll come back to you, Francis. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I just had my hand up to address that last question there quickly.
Okay, yeah, please. Yeah, of course.
No, absolutely. There's avenues that are within the provincial government or avenues in in where I can guide you. For the individual that has that question, I'll just put my email in the chat here at the bottom, and they can address it specifically with me, and I'll take it up. Government is such a big beast to navigate, of course, so I don't have the right answer to say, call this person and let's send you there, but I'll do my best to navigate you to the right individual for sure. So I'll just put my name and the contact info in the bottom here to get that address for you.
Thank you, Scott. Nikki?
Hi, everyone. So MP Nakvi had to leave, unfortunately, for another event, but I'm here with my colleague Ngozi to answer any questions and just write everything down. But similar to Scott, if you reach out to our office with any like specific funding criteria, we can always reach out to the Library of Parliament, like our office can, and help you navigate that and see if there's anything that available. Yeah.
Thank you, Nikki. And Scott and Nikki, there's another question about seniors. I think you guys can also maybe respond to that as well. It's almost in the same vein, so I'll just continue to scroll past that if there's any other questions in the chat. And that was a response from the office. Okay, any other questions from the audience?
That might be also an option for Francis if he doesn't have, if we can't hear his audio, maybe he can also put the question in text in the chat box if possible.
Yeah, Francis, if you want to use the chat, that's available to you. Any other questions? Hands up. Okay, Cassandra.
Okay. Hello. Are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for all the presentations. I just have a question in regards to, do you guys have any stats or data in regards to how much funding, or not necessarily in numbers, but for a lot of the funding that you guys present, you speak about Ontario. And I would like to know what are the stats maybe for the recipients in Ottawa. I've had a lot of contact with a lot of entrepreneurs within our city, over 100 entrepreneurs, and I can't even count on my two hands how many of them have told me that they have been recipients of any of these grants or loans. Many of them are, well, I would say 90%, I would say are declined based on the ones I speak to. And I myself, as well as an entrepreneur, have been declined for many of these products. So I just wanted to know if there's any, if you guys have any statistics or data in regards to who in Ottawa is able to actually get these funding.
Thank you, Cassandra. Cynthia and Councillor Rawlson King, if you guys could answer.
Well, one of the things I'll start, but of course, I'll also let the other levels of government as well kind of weigh in terms of the stats that they might have. But that is definitely an issue that has been identified, not just by my office, but also by the Ottawa Black Coalition in terms of both social service funding and entrepreneurial funding. And we literally had a discussion late last month about the potential of starting to look at research and data to quantify the amounts of money that are coming into Eastern Ontario, because definitely, anecdotally, we know that there is a gap between the amount of funding that is received in the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area versus what is received in Ottawa and Eastern Ontario. And one of the rationales behind the Ottawa Black Coalition is to ensure that there's greater advocacy for more investment and a greater voice for that investment amongst senior levels of government. So I just want you to know that it's something that is identified. As for specific numbers and statistics, we don't have those in front of us, but there is discussion in the community about starting work on research and seeing what avenues we can undertake to really quantify the amounts of investment that's coming into Ottawa. I've also, frankly, directed staff to do that, and I did that during the budget consultations to determine and to ensure that we continue to have discussions through mechanisms such as the Association of Municipalities of Ontario in terms of expanding social service and entrepreneurial investments in Ottawa. I've given legislative direction to council to continue to do that. The good news is that staff had been doing that. In fact, Scott can attest to this. In the summer, when AMO was here in Ottawa, there was a meeting with the coalition and other partners and leaders of Black-led organizations to advocate for more resources in terms of social service provision as well as entrepreneurship. So, Cassandra, we definitely hear you. And there is some movement there. I like being very honest with people, and we've had these discussions before that obviously there's a lot of constraint on the municipal government in terms of what it can fund in legislation. Like, we just can't fund businesses directly. We can't bonus out businesses. And of course, we have a very narrow scope in terms of our funding priorities because of the size of our budget and the responsibilities that municipal governments have to provide. But notwithstanding that, we are having, I think, very productive discussions with senior levels of government on how we can actually improve the funding situations in different areas, including entrepreneurship and social services. So that discussion is going to continue, that advocacy is going to continue, and that work is going to continue amongst all levels of government. And I see
Thank
Scott has
you.
his hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
Oh, I just handed up just to echo your sentiments there, Councillor, as well. Just that citizenship and multiculturalism is the ministry that this profile sits underneath. And so, just leading up to this conversation today, and get some language wrapped around programs and grants and available avenues for those to take. I reached out to that industry, spoke with Minister Graham McGregor, who is the minister of this ministry in general, and a few members of his staff. And they did share some knowledge on Ottawa-based information at a high level. But let me get you some granular numbers. Just to, hey, we're talking about Ottawa here, so let's see what we can map it back to our great city and get some information for you. So I'll leave it at that for us to engage by email, and I'll get those stats for you.
Just before you go, Marilyn, and then back to Cassandra, I wanted to give Cynthia a chance to respond quickly with like a 30-second response to what Cassandra had asked.
Thank you, Sophia. So the community funding framework does not fund entrepreneurship directly, but when it comes to social services and the equity of access to funding, this is something that we continue to work on. We built on the practices that we have with equity criteria, reaching out to different communities and collaborate on different projects. The the capacity building pilot that will be launched with the anti-racism secretariat later this year is one of the response to that needs, simplifying the access to funding and leveling the playing field. Because one of the thing, and Sophia had heard me said that before, like maybe I heard that from you, Sophia, but like you have like small organizations, equity, serving equity denied communities that compete with long-standing established relationships and want to help bridge that gap. So it's work that continues that we're very committed to.
Thank you so much. Just for folks who want to know about any events, if you have any Black History Month events that you are hosting or doing or know about, please drop it in the chat. A couple of people are looking for that information. This information will be disseminated in French again as well, so don't worry about that. That information will be there. As we continue with the conversation, Marilyn, you have a question. You have 30 seconds.
Just trying to unmute. I just wanted to thank Councillor King and his staff for bringing this forward. One of the things that I'm very appreciative, Scott, yourself, Eric, in terms of looking at the Black community and some of the challenges and the barriers that might be put forward for them. You talked about grants, and I wrote some of them down and wanted to look forward to that. But one of the things I just wanted to bring forward was maybe some of the barriers for the Black community to qualify, to be able to be successful recipients. And I just wanted to plant that seed. I know everyone's on the same page, but just to plant the seed about some of the restrictions that might be in place that disqualifies a lot of the Black entrepreneurs. These are about the entrepreneurs and about the community to move forward, to apply and to qualify for these opportunities. And if we could just examine that a little bit in terms of what might be in place that we haven't thought about. There are some qualifications like 5 years that you've done this, or 3 years in business. So I just want to plant that seed, and I wanted to thank you. I really do, because you guys are trying to make a difference. I just want to make that impact more impactful, because your intent to me is very sincere, but there might be things you haven't realized that might be barriers
Okay.
to
Thank you,
people being
Marilyn. We have to kind
successful.
of wrap and go
Sorry.
to the next. No worries. We're just wrapping to go to the next question. Okay, thanks guys for dropping all of your Black History Month events. Continue to drop those in the chat. Cassandra, you are next. You can unmute.
All right, sorry.
No, that's okay. Please ask questions.
Yeah, so just a quick point I also wanted to make is that I'm very appreciative of all of the programs that are being created, but I want you guys to also be mindful that in the meantime, the ones who are operating or trying to operate right now are failing. While the system is tailoring their system, the businesses that exist and that are unable to receive funding are failing. So in the overall, we're creating a cycle where we participate in the startup programs, we launch, we start, but then we're unable to remain sustainable. So we fail, and then another cycle of new entrepreneurs come. And so, I think, you guys know about the statistics that most businesses, I think it's over 50% of businesses fail within 5 years. And a lot of us fall within that because we're unable to move forward. That's my first point. And the second point I wanted to kind of ask, why is entrepreneurship, I feel like as Black entrepreneurs, we're often pushed towards going towards the nonprofit avenue. Like, I operate a business, but it's very rare for me to be able to obtain funding. And I'm always told, well, turn yourself into a non-for-profit in order for you to have to be able to receive funding.
Okay, thank you, Cassandra. I think I'll get Eric, Mona, and maybe Scott to come in to answer that question. Can I maybe go to Mona first?
Yes, I wanted to kind of address Marilyn's question.
Okay.
I think it's important for funders to examine who has historically been getting funded, right? If historically funding it's not going to Black founders or Black communities, then there has to be a mechanism to reverse that. I think MCM is doing a great job in doing that, specifically focusing on the Indigenous and Black communities and having funding that is just for them. So we need to use those models to say, okay, there has to be sense of responsibility and accountability to address where is this money going, and is it going to the people that need it the most, that have historically been discriminated against, that need that additional support to be where they need to be. So funders need to not just do the same thing over and over again. We have to kind of be responsible. Funders need to be responsible to understand if their funding is going to the right people, the people that need it the most, who's been left out, and what can we do to change that. And Cassandra, I hear you, and we hear this often in our communities, and that's why it's important to look at things differently. Traditional ways of supporting entrepreneurs, it's not really giving Black entrepreneurs what they need to overcome these barriers. And oftentimes, just doing mainstream programming or releasing what works for the mainstream population, it's not working for our population. So we really have to have this open and honest conversation where we're saying, okay, what's working, what's not working, and what do you need, and not be left alone to say, here, figure it out on your own. And we're here to support each other, but there has to be systems level change too. And it's not something that we can figure out in one sitting, but these questions need to come up, and Cassandra is being honest, and that's something that we are noticing too in the ecosystem.
Thank you, Mona. Eric or Scott, if they have like 30-second responses. Eric, if you have one, you can go ahead.
Sure. Just to echo Councillor King's comments earlier, that the municipality can't provide direct funding to businesses under the Municipal Act. The funding program I was talking about earlier, that's to support nonprofits that in turn support businesses. So what we've been trying to do is really work with partners like Invest Ottawa and some of the other partners in the presentation to sort of direct small business owners and entrepreneurs to the right resources so they can obtain funding and sort of create that network to sort of set people up for success as much as possible.
Okay, thank you, Eric. Scott, did you have a quick response?
Yeah, you know what? Let's try and see if we can get you profitable. How about that? Let's find some programs out there that really do make sense. And just upon quick search, there are some some grants that are available for you. The Jobs and Prosperity Fund, it's called JPF. It's up to $5 million. There's a Digital Main Street Fund that's $2,400 grant to bring tools like e-commerce and marketing capabilities, adopting digital practices. There's obviously some credits that are out there as well, available to startups that are there. There is one called the Ontario Together Fund. It's up to $500K. I mean, you divide these across the province of Ontario. They're very lean. If you have 500 people applying for it, that's $1,000 each. So really have to be creative in our language and how we craft our responses together. There's also regional grants that are available to small to medium businesses as well across the province. More Eastern Ontario, Northern Ontario, Southwestern Ontario that are divvied up, a mix between urban, rural settings. So there are some support mechanisms there from a regional grant standpoint. But when we connect, let's figure this out. They had something called the early stage grant. I just actually was trying to see if I can find somebody online Saturday, and of course, what am I thinking here? Trying to see if I can find somebody in Toronto. But they had something called early stage grants that were available, and they were a couple $1,000s up to $500,000, depending on what what size and scale of organization you're looking to build or ramp to. So. The answer is yeah. At the end of the day, non-for-profits are fantastic to support for sure, and have a rationale and reason for them for sure. But Cassandra, if you're into to be profitable, let's try and figure this out together and how we can get there. This is the reason why you're an entrepreneur, right? It's to work for free for a period of time to get things kickstarted. But at the end of the day, you need to support yourself and family and things that are all around you. So let's work on that.
Appreciate that, Scott. Thank you so much. Alsu, please correct me if I'm wrong, because I want to make sure I'm saying your name right.
Yes, that's fine. I'll sell.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I just want to ask before anything, I just want to ask Scott a question actually. Then I have something else to say. So Scott, let's say for somebody like Mona with the Changemaker Innovation Hub, as you know, there's I believe now there's been maybe the 4th cohort. Is this something that we can all apply as a group? I mean, I was part of the 1st cohort, and you mentioned that if you spread into like 500 people, is this something that Mona can get all the previous cohorts together to apply for something like this?
Listen, I tell you, let's have a look at yours individually and see what we can do for sure. I'm not as much as I'd love to be an expert in this field and say this is the right person to go to and this is as much money we can get, it all depends on organization and if you are a repeat individual who's applied for one of these before in the past, your navigation path might be a little bit less than someone who's just starting out fresh, right? So
Yeah,
let's take a deeper dive in that one, see if we can get you the right individual and right team involved in what is it specifically you're looking for.
great. Thank you so much. So other than that, I just want to take some time. Just want to thank you, Councillor Rowling. I know that you've worked hard for the community. And I also know that, we're very blessed to be in Canada, to have a country where we have all these programs to support business people. I mean, we are truly fortunate to be in a place like this, to call this place home. I know for a fact that as I speak, as a businessman, we are all looking for opportunities to help our city grow. I mean, of course, we want to make money, we want to do well for ourselves, for our family, but the end game is to create projects, so that the city of Ottawa can grow. One of the things that I've seen happening right now is that there's a big number of immigrants that came into Ottawa, and so many of these people are talented. I know when I was providing volunteer services in one of the shelters, there were women, braiding other women's hair, and some of them are so skilled at doing that. But where do they go from that moment? Because as you know, some of these shelters closed down. And for those who understand the mindset of an immigrant person, they don't always know that there are, systems in place that can help them, evolve, succeed. But I think maybe I'm posing this question to you, Councillor Rowling. Could we start thinking about, about how these new immigrants, with their skills, what can we do to help them? I wouldn't say become, self-employed, but maybe programs that can help them, come out and put their skills to practice. If you look at what's happening today within the Korean community, they've been doing very well for themselves. For those watching Netflix, you can see how much they have grown and evolved to their movies, and now they're doing these big culinary shows. And so, we have the same potential within the Black community. We have so much to give. Okay, I know that there are some doors that are opened, and for some of us, when this door opens, we try to break through it so that we can take advantage of everything we can. But I just want to say that for everything else that's in place, maybe let's have a talk about creating jobs for Ottawa, because we know what's happening in the city right now. We're seeing businesses closing, we're seeing people being laid off, even in the federal government. Okay, and so there's going to be issues, right? So what are we doing to start addressing these issues? Okay.
So I would agree. I would agree, and I just briefly say that there are discussions around utilizing our settlement agencies as not just conduits to employment, but also to greater economic development. So there are conversations that are occurring, I know, throughout the city to say, we have to take advantage, frankly, of the amazing human potential, which we see in terms of our newcomer and immigrant communities. We know, especially in Canada, all throughout Canada, that often newcomers, frankly, have higher levels of post-secondary education than those who are born in Canada. And often through many, systemic barriers, they're not able to leverage their education into either a profession or into economic development opportunities. So I think that this discussion is a very serious one that is taking place throughout the city in terms of how can we work with many of the settlement agencies, not just to look for entry-level jobs, but also to think about ways that newcomers can really launch businesses, leverage their entrepreneurial skills so that they can build another level of wealth. there are these discussions that are going on as well in Black-led social service agencies. I know at the ACB Wellness Resource Center, there is not just movement around financial literacy for youth and newcomers. There's also movement around looking at different skill sets, as example, artificial intelligence to allow people to start to build businesses. So we're having some very interesting discussions. I just don't want you to think that those discussions aren't happening. I would like to see them advance faster. But I think it's going to be very important for us not just to teach the financial literacy piece, and this is what these are the discussions that I've been having with other social service agencies. We need to also provide the entrepreneurial skills so people can leverage their knowledge, their know-how, their talent into businesses that will create greater community wealth. So just want you to know that there are many people in the city that are looking at this. And, I think there's been some progress that has been made, but we need to do much, much more. So I agree with you there.
Thank you, Councillor. Reggie, you're next. Go ahead. You have 30 seconds for your question.
Yes, hello. Can anyone hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes. My name is Reggie, and I'm a director of governance with the Brotherhood Coalition, not-for-profit here in Ottawa. I wanted to ask a question, very important. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It was very insightful, and there was a lot of information. I'm looking forward to receive those materials, to review them and go to what I see fit. So I wanted to ask, beyond the funding opportunities, are there any capacity building supports, such as grant writing workshops, mentorship, or partnership facilitation that would help emerging Black organizations such as ourselves to become ready when the time comes? Thank you.
For sure, Reggie. I'll give this to Cynthia. Cynthia and the City of Ottawa are doing a number of things. So Cynthia, if you just want to, maybe Reggie might have come a little bit later. If you just want to go over what you guys have coming up, that would be great.
In terms of funding opportunities?
Yeah, the grant writing workshops that you had mentioned and the capacity.
And the capacity building. Yes. So what we look at leveling the playing field, there's different aspects to it, simplifying, streamlining so that access is easier and easier to navigate and to get the information that you need. We'll develop a capacity building pilot funding with the Anti-Racism Secretariat, really looking at grassroots organization directly serving and coming from equity denied community. That we're just in the planning phase, but there will be a lot of engagement around that because we want to make sure that it answers to the need of the community. And the grant writing workshop was one way to really give the same information to everybody. We're very grateful to partner with the province on that. And I know that Godwin was asking as well. The English session has filled up very quickly. We are at 160 participants for the day, which we reach capacity, but we'll definitely be looking at hosting more because we think it's a gap in the sector, and it's something that we're happy to continue offering.
Thank you, Cynthia.
Thank you.
Francis, you had said that you want, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was going to say we want Francis to try to unmute himself. Once you're unmuted, it's your equipment, right? But we want to hear from you. And if you have a question, we want to answer it.
We still can't hear you though, Francis. I don't know if your sound is not working, but we can't hear you. It's not. Did you want to try fixing your sound? Can anybody hear Francis? I'm not sure if it's me.
No, we can't hear you.
Am I frozen? Okay.
I don't know if you can call in on another device, but it's we've unmuted you. So it's based on your equipment, the issues that we're having.
If you want to use the chat, Francis.
And that's why we had said if you want to use the chat or if you want to dial in using another device.
No,
We
we're
we
still
can't
not
hear you.
hearing. Sorry. We'll continue, guys. We have about 5 more minutes. If there's any other questions that you guys wanted to talk about or ask, this is the right time to do it before we wrap up and close. I'm just looking at the chat. I don't see any other hands raised. Okay. There's no other questions.
So we still want to hear from Francis. So I don't want him to
Absolutely.
have the feeling that,
Yeah.
we're muting him. We can't hear you. So if you could dial in on another, because we definitely would love to answer the question that you have. If you can call in another device or leave a message on the chat, that would be appreciated.
Okay. 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 Again, I don't see any other questions or hands raised. This is the opportunity to do that. But if there's no other questions, concerns, we will go to closing at this moment. But before we close, I just want to say thank you and just give you guys a little bit of insight around Black virtual town halls. When Councillor had started and he brought me on, one of the things that I did speak to him about even back then was having these type of virtual town halls for the ACB community. We know how it is to be underrepresented in many facets. So I did say, and he totally agreed and was like full force on having the opportunity to be able to speak to the community, to be able to give these type of information sessions and have these Black town halls, to have those considerations for the Black community, for ACB communities and racialized communities. So just continue to follow along with what's happening on this journey, continue to have the updates, follow his website, his newsletter, and as well reach out to me. I left my email, my consulting email in the chat as well. If you ever have a question or if you see me out there, please come up to me, ask me, and I will try to relay that to the office as best as possible. But I want to thank all of you for coming today and answering, the questions, doing the presentation, the presenters. Thank you so much. This is a big help to the community for nonprofits and businesses. I appreciate all of your scopes and all of your expertise. I appreciate having the opportunity to facilitate. So thank you so much, and I will turn it over to the councillor.
Well, thank you, Sophia, and thank you all for your engagement and your thoughtful questions today. I want to begin by expressing my sincere gratitude to all our presenters who joined us today. Thank you to MP Yasser Naqvi for representing the federal perspective, to Scott Phelan from the Office of the Premier, for sharing provincial resources, and to Cynthia Paget for outlining the city's funding programs, to Sonia Shori and Sarah Perron from Invest Ottawa, as well as Mona Abo talking about Changemaker Hub, which we really appreciate, and to Eric Hopkins from Economic Development Services at the city. Your time, expertise, and commitment to supporting our community is deeply appreciated. And a special thank you to our moderator, Sophia Jacob, for guiding us this afternoon with much care and skill. What we've heard over the past 2 hours is clear. There are real resources available at every level of government, federal, provincial, and municipal. There are grants, there are entrepreneurship supports, and there are people ready to help you navigate these systems. But we've also heard that we need to have more investment in Eastern Ontario and in Ottawa from all levels of government. And we understand that, we hear that, and I want you to know that we are working on that in conjunction with the community. I think we also heard a need for more resources around economic development and entrepreneurship for newcomers. And we're going to work on that. So I think we've heard those concerns very clearly, and I want you to know that my office will be dedicated to working on that. I also think it's important to acknowledge that readiness matters, and I think that the people who have been on this call, they understand eligibility requirements. They understand having documentation in order, building capacity within your organizations to apply for grants and contributions successfully. And I know that work has been ongoing. And what I want to say is don't be discouraged, especially in the social services sector and in entrepreneurship. We have to continue to network, to use the contacts and use the programs that have been shared today to ensure that you are successful. So we want to continue to work with you to do that, to take feedback on existing programs, of course, but also to listen to your needs so that new programs in the future can be adjusted. And I think that's very important. And you've contributed that today. As promised, you will receive a follow-up email from us with a link to today's recording on my YouTube channel once it's uploaded, contact information from all our presenters, and links to the programs and resources discussed through the PowerPoint presentations that have been provided. So we want you to know that we will definitely follow up with you and provide that information to you. And by way of this information being on the YouTube channel, it will also be able to provide quality information to those who might not have been able to be on this session live. I want to leave you with this. Black Futures in Focus isn't just the title of today's event. It's a commitment to ensuring our community has what it needs to build, grow, and prosper. My office remains available to support you. And if you're navigating challenges or need help connecting with the right resources, please reach out. The good news is the other levels of government have also left resources, and you can reach out to them directly. They want to work with you. So I really want to thank you for your time, your presence, and your dedication to building a stronger, more prosperous Black community here in Ottawa. Be well, and let's continue to work together and to continue to have these discussions beyond this Black Town Hall. Thank you so much.